Hello everyone, it's Kyle Warsinski. I'm going to be doing my week 6 presentation on the Food and Drug Administration, whether it's too big or just right. So United States Food and Drug Administration is an agency that was established by Congress, and the agency functions as an executive agency in the executive branch of government. The agency is in charge of inspecting food that we all buy from stores. It reviews proposed new medicines and approves those, and it also has the ability to recall food and recall medicines um, that may be negatively affecting the citizens of the United States. The last thing it does is it also is in charge of marketing of these types of products, which also includes tobacco and any tobacco related products. So one interesting fact I found is that 25 cents of every dollar that we all spend on products or on products that are covered by the Food and Drug Administration. So Anthony Downs would call this type of bureau a well-established grown bureau, and in his life cycle of bureaus. So searching through the internet, you're able to find a decent amount of criticism towards the Food and Drug Administration. Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution was how Congress established the agency, and that was under an agency to promote the general welfare of the country, as well as to have uniform rules across all the different states. Some of the critics for the FDA feel the agency has too much authority, has been given too much authority, or it grew too much, which is definitely contrary to Wilson's dichotomy, in which the administrators follow the rules. The FDA can actually create its own rules and regulations in which it goes ahead and follows it or administers itself. It is a form of regulated federalism. Another critique of the agency goes along with what Merton was arguing with Weber, is that bureaucratic organization is too slow and too cumbersome to get things done. And then lastly, Katz and Kahn talk about our open systems, and the critics of the FDA believe that some of the inputs into the system are not appropriate or potentially corrupt, and that would be that big pharmaceuticals or big food brands provide cash to the individuals making decisions at the Food and Drug Administration. So potentially there's a conflict of interest, or at least the interpretation of a conflict of interest between the people making the rules and the people supplying the cash into the organization. So that's another main discrepancy or critique that I found on the FDA. Most of them were looking to decrease the agency's authority, and then some of the very harsh critics wanted the entire organization to be abolished. So I also talked to a couple people and researched the internet, and I can't find too many individuals that want to expand the FDA. That may be because it's literally one of the largest government organizations in the entire world. But what I did find is a lot of people, when something occurs in society, a major problem occurs, they expect the FDA to take care of it. So I think that in itself is asking the FDA to expand its authority. The first item I found is the current opioid crisis, and everyone wants the FDA to crack down or create new regulations on how these things would be done. It's also partnering with the DA, the Drug Enforcement Agency, on that concept. The second item I found, which the public is really interested in the FDA increasing its rules and authority on is the e-cigarettes or vaporizers that administer nicotine. And there's been a lot of research that's shown that the companies have been marketing these flavored tobacco products to minors or teenagers, and that it's a gateway product that increases the chances of those teenagers using traditional cigarettes later on in life. So Grodzins would say that all of us working together, or all the different levels of government working together as cooperative federalism, is how we can accomplish the epidemic of these e-cigarettes or vaporizers being used by minors. So what I found is that a lot of people want the FDA to expand when we hit an epidemic, or where there's something that's really affecting the total population. But I think most people are just okay with what the federal government does in terms of food and drug. So a couple of suggestions I came up with in my paper were derived from Alice Rivlin's article or paper that we read, and that was that maybe we can streamline some of the issues or gain some integrity back to the organization by implementing performance measures, and that way the public understands what's going on with the FDA. We limit the amount of potential for corruption, and we can kind of go through why it takes so long, or why it takes so much money to get some of these different things done. So I think that would be a good suggestion, is to include performance measures in the FDA. So thank you so much for watching. I look forward to watching all of your presentations as well. Thank you.